Today from Vienna, I show you the Habsburg Crypt, a cafe where supposedly Hitler and Stalin drank, an art school that changed the course of the 20th century, and more. Guten Tag, guys, from Vienna, or Wien. So Hitler, Stalin, Trotsky, and Tito walk into a cafe. Now that is not the start to a bad joke. That is something that actually happened in 1913 in this cafe. Now at some point during 1913, the men that would go on to shape and shatter the 20th century all came here to drink coffee. Well, Hitler drank decaf, but that's a different story. The Nazi Party didn't believe in caffeine, but meth was totally fine. Well, after 30 minutes, we didn't get served. And I did wave to a few people, but I guess that is how Cafe Central works. Also, after the Second World War, the cafe was closed, so that's not even the exact cafe. It's in a different part of the building. And all those seating are from 1975, so another side note on Cafe Central. Well, left the center and came to Cafe Teiflerhof and got served right away, so it's not all bad. So supposedly below this church is the crypt of the Habsburgs, but I don't see an entrance. Oh, they sell bottled holy water. Huh. So we are now entering the Habsburg Crypt. This is impressive. Now I am by no means an expert on the Habsburgs, but you can see, even in the reliefs, you can see the infamous Habsburg jawline, which was a direct result of pretty extensive inbreeding. But that does not change the fact that they are probably the most influential European family of all time. Pretty crazy. Look at this. So in this large crypt is Maria Theresa, who gave birth to 16 of them, and a statue of her and her husband, who are buried inside of here. Well, interred. Now, Maria Theresa was an empress, as the Habsburgs did allow women to rule over their kingdom. Now, this is purely speculation, but after her death, this was the last of the somewhat over-the-top, extravagant coffins. Her son decreed that the coffins become much more simple, perhaps because he had to look at this statue of his parents. This one is kind of interesting. Maximilian was king of Mexico. So there was a Habsburg king of Mexico, which is not what you would expect to hear. And finally, the more modest tomb of Franz Josef, the last emperor of Austria-Hungary, who died in 1916 and did not survive to see the fall of the empire after World War I, when it was finally dissolved. You can see how full of history Vienna actually is. This is the house where Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart died at the age of 35. Now his death is still somewhat of a controversy to this day. Some say he was poisoned by his colleagues, or the most likely explanation is that he died of kidney failure at a young age. Although he achieved fame during his lifetime, meeting the emperor and things like that, he never really achieved fortune. And his life is also a subject of controversy. Some say he lived an extremely happy life, but being a child prodigy and pretty much more or less forced to perform since the age of 5, I'm more of a believer that he lived a pretty miserable life. All he ever knew was music. Now this building in front of me here is the Academy of Fine Arts, Vienna, where in 1907 and 1908, the man who did this painting was rejected. One Adolf Hitler. Now who's to say how the course of the 20th century could have changed if he had been accepted? Perhaps he would have been just a painter, and an old lady would have been in a thrift shop and found a $10 painting with the initials AH in the bottom corner and wondered just who that was. But we all know that's not how it went. The man went on to shape and shatter the 20th century. Now, he wasn't flat out rejected. One of the professors was actually somewhat sympathetic and recommended that he attend architecture school. But that would mean Hitler would have had to go back to school. And he said, fuck school. Gonna do something else. Now behind me here is the largest of 6 massive Second World War flak towers. Built around Vienna from 42 to 45, this one was armed with 4 dual 128mm flak cannons. It was able to serve as an effective deterrent more than anything, as Allied bombers planned their routes around them. However, 20% of the city was still leveled. In my opinion, it's probably just another great German waste of the Second World War, which they were pretty damn good at wasting resources. However, thousands of years from now, if humans are still around, or even if we aren't, this will probably be a lasting monument to our history. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. You know, do the typical YouTube stuff for me, like and subscribe. And until the next one, Wiedersehen.